Hi, I'm Zan Azli and you're watching the first episode of the second season of Astro Awani's special documentary series In Focus, where we discuss all kinds of issues, local and international. Now, in Malaysia, it is said that there's an average of about 100 reported cases of abandoned babies throughout the country, and half of these babies are actually found dead. Now, this is a very, very serious problem, and it's even said that those that are unreported are actually 7 times more than the average of 100 a year. Now, that's a lot of abandoned babies. Now, for this episode, we are actually with OrphanCARE. I spent some time with OrphanCARE, a special NGO, which has set up a special program called the Baby Hatch, which allows mothers who have just given birth and are not able to care for their babies to come and leave their babies here anonymously and be assured that their babies will be safe and actually be found homes with loving families eventually. Okay, so can you demonstrate to us how the baby hatch works?
No problem. Okay, we never lock the gate. We just close so anybody can come any time of day. And then we just open the baby hatch. Okay, you see underneath the mattress there are sensor buttons that will, when there is a weight detected, it will trigger the alarm system. But this door is very light, so it's not going to trigger anything. Just show. You just put. Right, there's a CCTV inside, but that is only to capture the image of the baby, not to capture the person who puts the baby.
Okay, that's important, is it, not to capture the person who...
I'm sure if they know that they are captured, they won't put the baby, so it defeats the purpose.
Right.
Alright, so if it's a real baby, this door will be automatically locked. Okay. Why? We want to prevent from somebody else coming and kidnapping the baby. But if the mother, she changed her mind, she can always press this button and talk to our caretaker, I want my baby back.
Has it happened before?
I think so.
Okay. The baby is safe in here right now?
Safe.
Can
An
breathe.
aircon is triggered.
Okay.
And a small light for the baby's comfort.
Okay.
Alright, so the caretaker will open the door from the side to take the baby. Okay, this grill will be locked. It's for her protection. So she opens from the side to retrieve the baby.
And this is after the caretaker hears the alarm lah?
Of course, she will hear the alarm, and she also check from the CCTV it's really a baby, it's not a brick or something.
Right.
Alright, then she check nobody's out there, and then she come and take the baby. That's simple. Then the door can be opened again for somebody else to put the baby.
Okay.
Okay.
And there's a caretaker that is here all the time.
She works 24 hours. We have a room for her upstairs.
Okay. And it's just one person? Or do you have
At the moment, we have only one person.
Okay. And then what happens once the baby is
okay, what we do is that within 24 hours, we must make a police report that a baby is placed in the baby hatch. So whatever information we have, if the person actually writes the statutory declaration, she puts her name, her IC number, sign, everything, we will show the police. But the police has already assured us that they will not charge whatever that person is, because the baby is safe.
Because it's a crime to abandon the baby.
It is a crime to abandon the baby, but not if you put in the baby hatch, because it's a special place and none of the baby is found dead inside the baby hatch.
Okay. Right. Okay. So what's the next step?
Okay, after making the police report, we are instructed to bring the baby to the nearest hospital for checkup. Okay. The baby will be warded. And then we return to the office. We have to fax to the JKM nearest to us about the baby found in the hatch. And then we will be informed when the baby is ready to be discharged. Then we will inform JKM also. They will tell us the next hearing, court hearing.
Okay, OrphanCARE was formed in 2008 and with 2 major objectives. Firstly is that we believe that orphans that are in orphanages shouldn't be spending their lives there, and they should actually be adopted by loving families who can give them all the love and the care. So we don't believe in children staying in orphanages. That's one. The second objective is actually we noticed there was this rise in babies being abandoned in unimaginable places, such as in dump sites, in the rivers, you know, and they are left to die. So we thought that you know, these children ought to be saved, and therefore OrphanCARE should provide an alternative place for these babies to be saved, you know. So these are the two main objectives that OrphanCARE was set up. We launched our first baby hatch in May 2010, and since the launch till now, we have actually saved 77 babies. And out of these 77 babies, 7 babies were placed inside the hatch. That means these people, they would come in the middle of the night and place the babies in the hatch. But for the other 70 babies, they were brought into our center by either the biological mothers or the family members, and to be handed to us so that we can arrange for adoption of these babies. Actually, we have an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, signed between us and the Department of Social Welfare under the Ministry of Women, Family and Community Development. So under this MOU, we work very closely with them. In fact, we share the same database with regards to couples, you know, registered on the, you know, wanting to adopt the babies. And we also work closely with them in terms of taking the babies to the court, you know, when we want to give, when we want to, fit and proper. When grant. So some of these babies, especially those that are placed in the hatch, we have to go to the court, for the court to grant the fit and proper status to the parents before they can adopt the babies. OrphanCARE actually has on its website a form where the parents, those that want to adopt babies from OrphanCARE, they can register with us online. There is a form. So to date, we have about 3,000 couples who have registered with us that want to adopt babies from OrphanCARE. And out of these 3,000 couples, we have interviewed close to 600 of them. Because before a couple is given a baby to be adopted, we have to screen them. So they go through a process of interview. That means we will check, we will look into whether they are ready in terms of emotions, you know, emotionally, physically, financially.
The baby's brought up here and to the caretaker's room, which is there.
You can come in. Okay.
To put the fan on.
Okay, remember there's a button just now downstairs when I
Yes.
said that she can change her mind.
Yep.
So if she press the button, then the caretaker will take the phone from here and they can talk to each other.
Oh, if they contact, like, if they press the button and then...
Say, I want my baby back, just like I told you. Alright, so she will talk to the caretaker here. So up there, that's the strobe light. Okay,
Okay.
And the alarm. So even if the caretaker is sleeping, she cannot continue sleeping because of the sound.
The alarm is very annoying and very screeching.
So it will just go on and on
There's no
until
way
somebody
that she
takes the
can
baby.
sleep through the alarm.
Okay.
But so far we've had no one asked to return the
There is
baby,
one
right?
case.
There was one.
Just one case, and they took the baby, which is okay because it's okay for the baby to be
with the own mother,
But
kan?
actually, the best place is with the biological mom.
Of course.
And that brings us to another subject. Actually, out of the 77 babies, there were actually another 30, right? Roughly
43.
No, 43. There were actually more than 40 who were brought into us, but after counselling, the biological moms actually decided to keep their own babies. So if you look at the number of babies that we have handled, it's actually many more than 77. 77 plus 43.
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
These are mothers who are pregnant.
Who they have delivered and then they have brought in, but sometimes they just need to talk about it. So we have a counsellor who speaks to them, and we tell them to think about it. In fact, we had one case where the baby was left here for a week, and the couple went away to think about it. And then, in fact, even after that 1 week, they still couldn't decide. So we had a very kind volunteer who actually had the baby at her house for another, I think, 10 days. And then at the end of 10 days, they went back and took the baby and kept the baby. And they were getting married in, I think, like in about 6 months' time. Yeah.
Okay.
So we find that with quite a few of the couples who come in, because they are intending to get married, but the reason why they want to give up the baby is because it's such a stigma to have a baby out of wedlock. Although they're intending to get married, they seem to think that giving up the baby is the best solution until they've spoken to the counsellor.
So those would be more of a success lah.
I would say that it's more of a success lah, and sometimes people forget that because they ask about how many babies go through OrphanCARE who are adopted, but very few people ask how many babies we've handled who've actually returned who've decided to be kept by the biological mum or the biological parents. Yeah.
And do you follow up with them?
Well, I think we don't follow up so much with them. We follow up more with our adopted cases. Yeah, we make house visits.
But they do contact us sometimes. Like, oh, we are getting married, so please
Yeah,
come
yeah,
over
yeah,
to our
that's right,
wedding.
that's right.
Like
Yeah,
that. So
in
what's
that
the
sense.
child? And then they said, they are with me. The child is with me. So, I find it it's okay. It's good.
Yeah. I mean, everybody makes mistakes, right?
Yeah,
So it's best you keep your own child.
So when we are informed by the doctors that the baby is ready to be discharged, what we do is that we go to the hospital and we talk to the doctor. We would want to find out about the baby's health, okay? And then if everything's okay, we bring to OrphanCARE the baby, and then we will call the couple in our list. So the couple will come, look at the baby, and look at the medical condition, if any, and they will decide whether they want to adopt the child or not.
And this is the 3,000 couples that you said.
Those 500.
Oh, the ones that you screen.
Yes, screen. We don't call the other list. We call only those that have been
those who have
interviewed
been
first.
interviewed and shortlisted.
Because those interviewed will be given marks.
Oh,
Yes.
and then so there are couples who deserve it more, and there are couples who deserve it less.
So that those who are on top of the list will be called
The
first.
list will be called first. So we go down that way. Okay.
Okay. And then?
Okay, once they say yes, I have to inform JKM that, okay, we have a couple for this baby. So I have to fax to them the information about the couple, and they will start from there. So after that, it's all JKM.
Is it a very long process?
Not really.
No.
Yeah, how did you find out? Did they call you or?
Yeah, they called and they say there was a baby and she's going to be born the next day. Yeah, the next day. So, yeah, with the excitement and all that. We went shopping that night, shop for everything in the rush. And the next day got a baby.
So it's not like you will know when you get it.
It was just like 24 hours notice and the baby is at home. Oops. Because it wasn't too difficult because we have some knowledge about children and all that. So that's all.
Okay. And how is it like with the baby? How is it like? Actually 3 years old, right?
Yeah, she's 3 years now. It's awesome though. It's awesome. An awesome experience. Seeing her grow and still bonding with OrphanCARE, seeing them again. So it's just amazing.
So you're still.
We filled up the form through the net. Then they called us for an interview. Then subsequently, there was no child at that moment, so we waited. But we didn't actually wait for a child. So we thought, okay, if have means all right, if no means it's okay. So then a few months later, they called up, there's a child. So we said yes, and we took her in, and then there was a long process of what do you call it? Registration with the Jabatan Pendaftaran, Jabatan Kebajikan and all that. And subsequently, it's not that difficult, just going a few times there, then subsequently it's all right.
How long did it take? From the
a year, a few, yeah.
Right until you got
about a year,
2 years.
yeah, a year to 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years.
Mm-mm.
Okay, because Muslim got syarat, right?
Is it?
If you want adopt kids, the time is must 2 years.
2 years.
Oh, okay.
After 2 years, baru Jabatan Kebajikan akan
See.
give the surat to Jabatan Pendaftaran lah. And then you get the certificate for the adoption.
Within the 2 years is like a probation period.
Oh, okay. It's a probation period. And this is before you get the child.
No, this
When you get the child.
When you get the child, then
It's
2 years.
officially adopted. I see.
Officially. That's under the Muslim Sharia law. Whereas if it's not a Muslim, then you officially get it on the spot itself.
And out of the number of babies that are sent to OrphanCARE, how many are through the baby hatch, and how many parents actually come and go?
7.
Okay, out of the 77 babies who've been brought to OrphanCARE, 7 have been actually placed in the hatch, and 70 were brought in either by the biological mums or the biological mums accompanied by parents brought into the centre here. Yeah.
Okay. And what is it that you all prefer? You prefer the babies to be dropped in the hatch, or actually you want the parents to come?
Of course, we prefer the babies be brought into the centre because then we would have all the documents which are necessary. For example, the biological mother's IC, and then the birth certificate and the medical papers maybe for the baby. Yeah, instead as opposed to being left in a hatch, when in most times there's no documentation at all, so the baby becomes a stateless baby.
Now this stateless situation is very complicated, right? And that is when you have to go to court, right? And yeah, I think for the adoptive parents themselves, when they come, then they decide to adopt a stateless baby, right? How long does the process take for them to? You said they have to apply for citizenship and all that. How long? That will take years.
Yeah, that can take. We really don't know how long it will take. I mean, it will take. Application for citizenship, the approval can take any number of years. We actually don't know. Yeah, it can take a really long time, or if you're lucky, it can take a few years.
Okay. I mean, average.
We don't know yet.
We don't know.
None of the babies have ever.
The first baby hatch actually is because after 2 years, right? They took about 9 months to get. They are very lucky.
Oh, that was fast.
That is considered very quick actually. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Very fortunate.
And before it gets citizenship, the baby, what about medical care for the baby? They can go to clinic, hospital?
Okay, they have this birth certificate where the baby's name will be there. The citizenship will be written there, belum ditentukan. Okay, then the parents' names that is written there tidak diketahui. And then that's all. And then what the adoptive parents have is just a court order. It's written that they are responsible for the child for a period of time.
It's like foster parents, right?
So that is like the surat kuasa, where they bring to the clinic and everything. They have to bring that piece of paper.
Okay.
So after 2 years, they bring that court order, the birth certificate, and then they go to JPN and they have to apply for sijil anak angkat, with this adoption certificate, where their names will be there, the baby's name will be there.
Okay.
The adoptive parent's name must be there.
Was there any concern when you wanted to adopt from OrphanCARE? I mean, because you're concerned about the health of the baby, or the background of the baby, of the mother. Was there any concern at all there?
No, not at all.
Okay. Because they do have their process, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then.
So not at all. Yeah, but she has her health problems. She's asthmatic. Then she has to take nebulizer here and there. She's allergic to dust. And, whereas both of us are not asthmatic, so then she has got febrile fits twice. So.
But it's all worth it.
Yeah.
And now you have a child of your own.
Yeah. Yep.
How old is he?
He's 10 months.
10 months old.
10 going 11.
11.
Yep.
Okay. And are they getting along well?
Oh, very,
brother
very.
And sister?
Try holding her and she'll shout. She's like, no, take brother back. Bring him back. I know he's going to take him.
So he gets jealous lah.
Oh, then there are times when she'll fight. Not a single toy goes to him.
And what about him? I'm sure he bullies her as well.
No.
No. Wow, he's so good.
That's the sister bully him.
Well, wait until he gets older.
Yeah, wait till he gets older.
Yeah.
It's been awesome.
So it's
To
good
God's
actually.
grace, yeah.
We believe that no children should be brought up in orphanages, whether they are private orphanages or orphanages run by the government. Yeah, in this case run by JKN. We don't believe in that because normally when children are brought in such a situation, they lack the love, the care of a family, you know, and therefore when they grow up, they will lack self-confidence, self-esteem, and they don't have motivation, and normally they don't do well in schools. So we don't want that to be happening to our children, because our children are our future assets. So they must be brought up in a loving family environment, get all the care, all the love, all the basic needs, you know, met. So that's what we believe in, and therefore we try our best that we shouldn't allow any of the babies that are given to us to be, you know, finally sent to an orphanage. Whether, even though it is a government orphanage, we don't believe in that, you know, and that's why when we had this case of this special child, we were quite frantic actually when those on the list, parents on the list, did not want to take this baby because of her, you know, deformities.
So you've been successful with all the babies here? In getting them
Alhamdulillah, so far all the babies were good, because recently, I think 2 months ago, we had a tea party. Okay, we had a tea party where we called all those parents who have adopted our babies. Okay, so we had very nice gathering. So we out of the at that time 60 over couples adopted our babies, half of them turned up with the children that they adopted from us. And you could see how happy all this, you know, the parents and the children were, you know. So we really cherished, you know, that memory, that party. We really loved, you know. So we now plan to have it at least once a year to make it an annual sort of get together where we have all the parents. We have a party with all the babies, you know, the children. That is the plan.
Is there a relationship between the biological mother and the baby after, you know, in the future? Or?
There is no formal relationship, but we do tell the parents, the adoptive parents during the interview, that if the biological mother were to request to see the baby, they should allow the biological mother to meet the baby, but on neutral grounds, like the OrphanCARE Centre. Yeah, so we've had a few requests like that. So we've had a few meetings here at the centre between the bio mum and the baby.
Did they change their minds, the biological mothers?
No, so far we've had no. We've had 1 or 2 cases who wanted to see the babies maybe twice, but majority just either they don't want to see, move on with their lives, or they may see the baby once and then just get on
make
with
sure
their
that
lives.
everything's
Yeah,
okay.
to make sure the
I
baby's
think
fine
so.
and healthy.
Yeah. Actually, most of these girls, I think they want to go on with their lives, you know. Maybe they made a mistake in the past, you know, but I think after handing over the baby, they want to go on with their own lives and they want to forget the past, you know. So normally they never contacted us. Only 1 or 2 that wanted to see the baby after that. But most of them, majority of them didn't come back to us.
When a girl or when a single mother or when a woman is pregnant and she has no means of taking care of the child, so that's where OrphanCARE comes in. So it does help actually. So there are controversies, but everyone has their own point of view. So you can reject and you can say, you know. So, but when somebody needs help, so this is when help comes in. So.
Actually, we are an NGO, non-governmental organization, non-profit making organization. So actually, our funding comes from raising funds. We do activities to raise funds because we need funds to run the centers. We have 3 centers right now. One here in the PJ. We have just launched one in Johor Bahru, and we have another one in Kota Bharu. So we need funding actually to run the centers, to pay for the staff, as well as the utilities and the rental for the premises. So we always, try to think of how we always do activities to raise funds. At the same time, we also approach some of the companies for sponsors, And of course, we also approach the Ministry of Women, Family and Community Development. So Alhamdulillah, they have given us some funds last year. But that is for awareness program, for us to undertake our awareness programs, not to fund our operating expenditure. That part on the operating expenditure, we have to have our own means, we have to get our own sources of funds. It is quite a challenge though, to get some funding. But I notice more and more now people are aware of the good thing that we do. So some of them sometimes they just, they just call us to say, hey, we got some funds for you. So that's good, isn't it? So but hopefully we get more and more. But of course we do have to work hard. My community members are superb. Okay, they really go all out to get some funds, because we know that we have to have the funding for us to be sustainable.
It is a very amazing project which Allahyarham Dato' Adnan has done. And he has started it when she was among few pioneer babies that when we was there. And he has started this program where they say that every child needs a family. And there should be no foster homes, no rumah anak yatim. So every child should have a family. So it's a very good point that we should have not start building rumah anak yatim, not start to build foster homes and all that. So that is one thing that we should do.